Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the video. I hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful Tuesday evening, guys, and welcome back to my second video of today, guys. This will be my last video today, sadly, but yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do after this, homework and just other stuff, so hope you guys understand. But again, this won't be on a video on Windstorm Ezekiel. As again, you guys saw my first video. It is basically mostly over. There's like another hour or 3 hours to bring some heavy snow. And then it should just be light flurries later into the very late into tonight, tomorrow morning. So again, just nothing really much with Ezekiel. So yesterday was sadly my last video on it. At least we are having normal conditions, kind of coming back, power back, and all that. But we're gonna be doing another U.S. forecast, and this is actually gonna be on. We're gonna have huge cold fronts and huge warm fronts that come in this December. It's gonna be very on and off December, so it's looking like we're gonna have huge, I mean huge warm fronts and very, very big cold fronts. So we're just gonna be seeing huge, just completely different temperatures within a week. Like you can see 20 degrees below average and maybe 10 degrees below average, above average, and then 20 degrees below average within a week. So it's going to be very crazy. So I haven't done a U.S. forecast like this in quite a while, since it's gone to the winter season and all that. And now that there's actually nothing really wild out here other than some western snowstorm, we're not going to be seeing that much really with snowfall. So this is finally a good chance to get this U.S. forecast so you guys can actually see what the temperatures are going to be like in December, not just precipitation wise and snowstorm wise. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, guys. We've been getting quite a lot of new viewers in the past couple of days. It really means a lot when you guys support my channel. And my forecasts have really been helping out based on what you guys have said, so that really means a lot. If you guys are new to the channel, though, be sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to share to friends and family that you think love daily weather forecasts and want to know a bit more of what to expect in their day in December. And also be sure to hit the like button. But yeah, we are so close to 1.93k, so that's one step closer to 2,000, which I'll be doing a shout out once I get to 2,000. But yeah, without further ado, let's get in this video. So guys, we're going to be looking at basically the national weather service right now. Again, nothing really huge, except I guess you can kind of say right here is we have a lot less windstorm warnings and advisories for Maine now. So they kind of cut off for much of Maine. So we only have special weather statements for Augusta and Portland now. And we still have windstorm warnings for Caribou and Bangor. And then we have some more advisories for far northwestern Maine. We still have this from the we still have windstorm advisories near Buffalo, New York, from this additional lake effect snow to come right in the next couple of hours. Also have wind advisories for areas into western Virginia, areas into southeastern West Virginia, and much of western North Carolina, as we are seeing very strong winds. I actually saw very strong winds actually. It was like gusting up to 35 miles per hour, and it was really cold. I was out there for 5 minutes, and it felt like I was out there for an hour based on normal cold. I hate when it's wind cold, like the windy cold. We also do have flash flood watches now in effect for Southern California, near the areas of Los Angeles and San Diego, as we are seeing quite a lot of rain from the snow system that will bring in a lot of rain for the Southwest. We also do have now western watches for Lake Tahoe and the Sierra Mountains. We also do have some windstorm advisories. If it's really going to get really big, I'll do another video on it if I have to tomorrow on this. And then we do have air quality alerts for areas into western Idaho, into eastern Oregon, and also we do have dense fog advisories in effect for these areas into north central Nevada. But other than that, let's just get into now what we're going to be looking at into the 6 to 10 day outlook. And again, this is going to be the time where this 6 to 10 day outlook, this range is when we'll see the major cold front and an end of a major warm front. So as you can tell, this is where we're going to be seeing the end of the major warm front, actually going to bring very, very warm conditions throughout, from basically tomorrow all the way to December 10th. It's going to bring very, very warm. It's probably going to be our biggest warm front since we've seen this since early October. And then we'll have slightly above average temperatures for the western United States. And then this will have the start of the major cold front. So again, we'll be seeing up to 15 degrees above average, and then maybe even 15 degrees below average right into the northern United States. So and it's going to be on and off. It's going to be coming out, and then another one in and out, and then another one in and out. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been seeing for the past couple of months, except this cold air kind of changed throughout November, but it looks like this pattern is coming back. So, although we'll be seeing some very warm temperatures, though, into Florida, up to a 4th shade of red, which would possibly be up to 5 to 10 degrees above average at some point, but mostly around 3 to 6 degrees above average. And this other shade right here through much of the eastern coast, all the way from areas of Rhode Island to areas into the Gulf Coast, we do actually have a third shade, which will be bringing in a bit of more of 2 to 5 degrees above average most of the time, but could be seeing up to 9 degrees above average for some points into the around the 8th and the 9th. We'll be seeing the end of this cold front kind of going out here because it's cold air. It will be pushing it out, so that's basically how it works, because it's just cold air. We're just pushing this out, so that's why we have this ridge right here. It kind of be where this ridge is in between the Ohio Valley west of the Appalachians, and then we'll have a bit slightly above average for the south central and slightly above average for the western coast. So for once, it would actually be warmer in the west coast, but actually not as warm. So it is warm a little bit, but not as warm, maybe a degree or 3 above average, but a bit warmer for the Pacific Northwest, and maybe just at most 4 degrees above average. But again, it's going to be warm, but not as bad, which is kind of good. And then here we have the start of this major cold front. So as you can tell, we'll be seeing slightly above average temperatures all the way into northern Texas near Dallas. So you can tell the huge differences between southern and northern Texas here. We'll be seeing very cold conditions over more for the Midwest. We'll be seeing around 2 to 4 degrees below average for areas near Milwaukee, Chicago, Des Moines, Iowa City, all the way into areas near Rapid City. We'll actually see the very, very cold conditions though through near Marquette, Milwaukee, more of the northern Midwest, or you can say northern plains. We'll be seeing up to 8 degrees below average to 10 degrees below average. At some point, it's going to be very, very cold, and I mean major cold front. Again, when I say that, I actually mean it. And then we'll have our coldest conditions in the northern Midwest, including areas near Bismarck, Fargo, areas Minneapolis, Duluth, and Eau Claire. These areas will be seeing at maximum up to 15 to 17 degrees below average with this first cold front. Again, there can be another worse one later this month, or later into central December, that can bring it up to 25 degrees below average, and that's going to be very, very cold, because their averages right there in the northern Midwest are already cold enough out there in the up to the 20s is around our average for some lows, even some highs out there in northern North Dakota. So I can't even imagine what 25 degrees below average will even be like. As we get now into the 11th to the 17th, we do see another end of a warm front out here into the eastern United States. And again, we will be seeing the same conditions throughout areas into the west coast. Again, warm, but no more than 5 degrees above average. And that'll only be 1 or 2 days where it actually gets that much warmer. But again, it's really not going to be warm, so no need to really complain. At least you won't be seeing as bad as you usually do, and at least you're not like there in southern Alaska, even though their average is super duper cold, so not really going to do anything. But we still have these very warm conditions for the very deep southeast, including southern Georgia. Sorry, I just dropped my phone if you guys heard that thump. And then the coastal Carolinas will be seeing up to around 2 to 3 degrees below or above average, and then again 3 to 5 degrees above average for Florida. And then again, we've seen this kind of an end but start of a new cold front. So again, this is all the way to the 17th, so we'll kind of see a cold front, but not as bad, not as major as the other one. And then by later into December, we'll be seeing quite another big one. That'll be a big one though, and that will be only around 5 degrees to 6 degrees below average, so not necessarily really, really bad as compared to the first one. Now we'll be looking at the GFS 2 temperature anomaly. It's been a long time, but again, we are be seeing tomorrow. It's ended this cold front that's been bringing very cold air due to the winds. Again, we'll be seeing still a couple. You might want to enjoy this cold air while it lasts in Florida, as it's going to be staying warm for much of December. Again, we are going to be seeing this warm air still in the western United States. It won't be as bad as this, obviously, when it's above average. Again, this is where it's way above average. Again, there was a 1 to 6 day outlook where you can actually see real data. And as we get to Thursday, we'll see a major warm front right here. Again, there's no sign of a cold front here, so that's why it's lasting so long. We'll see a bit of a cool down to the western United States as it does move east, but not at a fast rate, as there's no really cold front because all the way to British Columbia, but not necessarily going to be pushing anything that much sooner. But again, obviously, these warm fronts move eastern no matter what. We're going to be seeing up to possibly 8 degrees above average for Kansas City. The only good thing is it's not summertime or early fall, so it's not like the averages are necessarily super high unless you're like in southern Texas. But again, we'll be seeing up to 11 degrees above average for areas near Lubbock, going to be a bit warmer. So again, at least again, it's not as bad as like it was in the summer. So these average, I mean, these temperatures will maybe only be 40s and 50s, maybe even 60s. But again, we see a bit warmer temperatures there for Louisiana, a bit of a cool down again for the northeastern United States. And in the Midwest up to around 8 to 9 degrees above below average. And again, we'll see this bit warmer out here into the Pacific Northwest. But as we get now into the 7th of December, that's when we see a huge pattern change here. We'll see a huge dip in the jet stream that will bring very cold temperatures. We'll kind of have a little low pressure. As you can see, the ridge is going to be quite weird. It's going to be like weird. It's going to be like this, kind of like this. That's going to be the ridge. That's when it's going to be looking like really. But again, we'll be seeing up to now around 9 to 10 degrees below average for many years into the northeast. Still a huge air section in the western United States that we'll be seeing above average temperatures. And then as we get into the 8th, that's when we have our major cold warm front. But the good thing is we have another cold front right behind us. So it shouldn't really last as much as this first one. So this will be just a huge warm front. It's going to be massive. Like these are going to be massive warm fronts and cold fronts, which is good that after a massive warm front, we'll have massive cold air. But again, it might just get too cold. And then you want the warm, and the warm comes, and then you want the cold. It's going to be a complete pattern, and then for much of the Midwest, up to 12 to 14 degrees above average, and then areas right here to the Rockies, just it's going to be very warm. And these eastern United States area right here, or more from the kind of the southeast of the northeast, will kind of just enjoying those cold temperatures. But again, as we get now closer into Monday, it will move very fast, as is we have a huge major cold front that will cover much of southern Canada, which will actually somewhat intensify the warm for as we saw in the western, but now it's happening in the eastern United States. Again, we're going to have huge, incredibly warm temperatures throughout the years, so this is definitely going to decrease the amount of snowfall for early next week. But as this cold front comes in later next week, that will increase the amount of snowfall as this new warm cold air comes in to the warmer waters, which will of course create that lake effect snow. But again, we'll see up to again 12 to 14 degrees above average for areas near Des Moines area into southern and central Illinois or Illinois. And then as we get later into Monday or Tuesday, this will be see our worst conditions with the close to 16 degrees above, I always want to say below, above average for many years into the southeast. And these are actually areas that are actually a bit warmer of averages. So this can actually be quite warm here, some 70s, very possible, except for these areas, which would be some 50s and 60s. But here will definitely be some 70s. And then here we have, again, that cold front that will start to come into the Midwest. This will be our first major cold front. I think it's going to bring very, very cold air very, very fast. I think so. Just the day after, Wednesday, we'll have below average temperatures. So the day we saw up to 16 degrees above average, now we're seeing up to 4 degrees below average. So that's a 20-degree drop in one day. Again, we'll see just very warm air, up to 20 degrees above average for these areas near close to the main border of Nova Scotia. We're going to be seeing very cold air up to, I almost said 60 degrees below average, 16 degrees below average, and this will actually stay out here for quite a while. Again, of course, this will intensify the warmer air into the west, but it won't be as bad. As you can tell, for the Pacific Northwest, it actually won't be as bad. Only at maybe 4 to 6 degrees above average at most. But again, it's going to bring this much needed cold air at this point for the areas in the Ohio Valley. Going to bring up to 8 to 9 degrees below average. Again, of course, areas into the Midwest, we'll be seeing very close to, again, 16 degrees below average, which will be very, very cold. And then we had that another warm front that comes in by this Sunday the 15th. This would bring widespread warm air for the eastern United States and the western United States. So, of course, now it's going to have to come in through the central United States since there's no way of pushing out this. So it won't really necessarily just intensify, just double the amount of heat. So it's going to have to come through the central United States now since it's kind of forced to go through the central United States. And as you can tell here, it comes through the central United States. But of course, that will intensify the warm front throughout these areas of the southwest, up to 20 degrees above average near Lawton, Oklahoma. Very heavy or very hot throughout these areas near Texas, New Mexico. Very, very warm. Again, this is really going to intensify the warmth in these areas in the south central. Again, this is what I mean major warm front, and this is what I mean by major cold front. Again, this is going to be another major cold front. Basically, as you can see, our biggest cold front, as you can tell, as you can see, it's going to be very, very big. Oh my god, that was really bad. But look at this, guys. This will actually bring up to 21 degrees above average for these areas. This is crazy amount of warmth. Like, look at these areas right here into coastal South Carolina, Georgia. Like, again, my average high around this time of year, December 19th, is around 50 degrees. So I can imagine up to a high of 65 or 66, very close to Christmas time. And that'll be quite very strange, very warm. Again, here we have this huge cold front, though. It's going to be a massive cold front, up to 21 degrees below average. It's going to be very crazy, as you can tell. And then right into the 19th, the same day, it completely brings out this warm air. So the same day, on the 19th, I can be going up from 14 degrees above average to now average. So that's just a complete, this is what I mean by on and off. Like, it's completely different. It's just, you can go from a 16-degree drop within hours, or I mean like an hour or two. You can see a 16-degree drop with this major cold front that would cause huge issues. And now very quickly, we'll be looking at the European, because I did not realize we're already at 15 minutes in this video. But we're going to get closer into when these 6 to 10 day outlook comes out. So again, here is Friday. So we have this cold front again. This will bring in to again 10 degrees below average. And then here we have this cold front throughout the areas of the southern United States and the northern United States. But again, here we have this major warm front, though, by Saturday the 7th. That's when we'll have up to 7 or 15 degrees above average throughout these areas into the northern plains. And then we'll have this major cold front again that'll be forced to come through southern Canada. That will actually push this warm air out again, which will obviously intensify the heat for the south central up to 12 degrees above average, and widespread 9 to 10 degrees above average throughout areas all the way from these plains to the northeast. And that's when we have this major cold front, guys. Look at this, 21 degrees below average. This is a massive cold front, guys. It's going to bring massive amount of, just a massive cold air. But look at this, though. Like, look at this amount of cold air. This is 24 degrees below average. Some of these, almost 24 degrees is actually the average for highs out here in these areas. So that's going to be negative digits right before these areas of Christmas break. We're seeing massive amount of cold air for areas into eastern Montana, the Dakotas, and Minnesota. That's going to just bring a huge amount of cold air. And this will be a very interesting time of Christmas if we either see a major warm front or cold front. That's going to have to wait as we get into now Friday the 13th. This will just have to wait and see if we can see by the time this pattern, if this pattern changes or if it keeps on going. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye, guys.